Come in hot.
Well, don't come in hot. Come in careful. Beautiful. One top is for you. It's what I got from you.
Come in hot.
Well, don't come in hot. Come in careful. Beautiful. No training wheels. Friends, I just got out of the bathroom. You can hear it? Yeah, I don't have a lot filmed today because it was just kind of a prep for school year starting kind of day. I let myself stay in bed instead of getting up and doing my like sleep training. Wake training is more like it in the mornings. But we went out to the deli because Dan thought he was gonna have the Jeep washed and vacuumed out there. Excuse me for burp. He decided to do it on his own because you kind of have to take the windows out to get really back where the dog was traveling. So, baby hairs, look at all these growing. Got a lot of them. Distracted, sorry. So we had breakfast. I asked to walk around the tiny little farmer's market they have there. I didn't film it because it was literally just like a 4-minute loop that we made. Headed home, and then I needed to do some work. Not much, just I had a list of like 6 high-res art files that the brewery has used in past designs. And he sent them all to me while I was at the beach. And they're all in like PSDs or huge zip files, like huge files. So I couldn't do it on my iPad that I had bought. So when I got home, I downloaded all those, and he wanted me to make sure they were large enough to like do these tight crops and use elements of them on new labels. So I sent that all to him with screenshots and stuff. Then I worked on school stuff. So I wrote out A and B day schedules for Jax and printed them out. I'm pretty sure they give him something in his homeroom, which is probably one of the reasons why he has homeroom first on the first 2 days of school, which is the way it used to be, but they've moved it to after lunch. I don't know why. It's like, when do you do the morning announcements? I guess during your first class. I guess in high school I had first period and then I had homeroom right after it, so I guess it's not that unusual. But yeah, I made an A day schedule and a B day schedule and printed those out, just like small strips, because he's got a binder for one of his A-Day classes and a binder for one of his B-Day classes. The rest just use like notebooks or folders. So the binders inside have a two-story pocket on the front, and the little pocket just perfectly fit the little schedule I made. And then I printed out the bell schedule for the big pocket. And then I set to work sorting through supplies, checking that list twice. I typed out his supply list in a easier to understand list because it's just a jumble. They've got the worst list ever for supplies. You gotta jump around to all these different classes. If you have this class and this and it's like they just copied and pasted what a teacher said. And it's not for a certain teacher, it's just if you have math and you're in 8th grade, you might need these things. So I got everything labeled, like this notebook is for math on A days and this notebook is for English on B days. Got it all sorted, everything like utensil-y things, pencils, pens, colored pencils, glue sticks, erasers, post-it notes, index cards, all that stuff went in the Kirby pencil case I got him because last year they had me buy sandwich bags. Like I just blindly bought everything thinking we had to like turn it inside. So much stuff last year. But then we get to school for the locker setup and his counselor tells me, oh, the bags were just so you can use them like for your pencils and stuff. I'm like, which he did, and then he lost his little sandwich bag. It had his name on. No, I don't think it had his name on it. The second sandwich bag I made had his name on it. And that did make it home at the end of the year, but a lot less things in it. So this year I splurged and bought a Kirby pencil case, pencil pouch. It's very nice. And yeah, I got that all filled. I wrote his name on it. Later in the day, like right after dinner, his cinch sack came, which is a stupid drawstring backpack. Like, they're meant for just tiny little things, like when you're riding your bike or something. That's all they're allowed to use during the day. They can bring a backpack to and from school, but it has to go in the locker. And I did it last year. We had the cinch sack, but then it like busted through because it's just like nylon. It's cheap. And he packs his entire day. I think probably both his A and B day stuff and just never unloads it. So of course it was busting. So this year I tried to find a better one. Like last year, halfway through the year, it wasn't even halfway. I don't know when it was. A few weeks, no, yeah, it was halfway through the year. A few weeks into school, we have a parents' night. But this, I feel like, was halfway through the year, right before they switched to second semester. I got to come and shadow him and saw that it was ripped, so I was starting to look for replacements, and I was just like, I saw some people carrying like little tote bags, so maybe I'll just do that and I'll sew a Kirby on it and we'll just do it, and then he can ask the dean if he's allowed to. So I did it. I put a lot of time into sewing a Kirby on a really nice sturdy tote bag, and he did get permission to use it. I told him to tell him his cinch sack ripped, can I use this? So use that for the rest of the year. He has the same dean, but the principal has made it explicit. The only bags you're allowed to carry are cinch sacks. So we're back at the cinch sack. I tried to get the nicest one I could. I searched for gym cinch sacks, sturdy gym cinch sacks. It doesn't have a little string for the cinch. It has nylon tape. I don't know what you call it. It's like flat, like backpack straps, the buckle part that dangle down, that stuff. There's a hair on my foot. And I wanted one with a separate pocket for gym shoes. Now he doesn't bring gym shoes, he wears his sneakers. Oh, there's a hair. It's one of my weave hairs. It's stuck to my toe. There it is, you can't see it, but it's getting thrown away. Go in the trash, go in the trash. Okay, I was trying to push my glasses up. But I wanted the shoe pocket at the bottom because that meant it was going to be like sturdy down there and he could put his pencil pouch. And I think, oh my god, there's another hair. What is happening? Where are these coming from? It's because when I do my hair, the dog and the child come in and out and in and out. And I do drop a lot of hair on the ground when I'm braiding, but I don't leave the room until I sweep it all up and throw it away. But they go in and out and they track it out and they yell at me. Okay, so yeah, that came. I loaded up. I think it's promising. It might last an extra month, longer than the last one. We'll see, because he abuses it. I put both A day and B day stuff in there and a pencil pouch. But he'll also have his Chromebook, which is like a frickin' brick, and his lunch, which I pack a lot in, and I have to pack a snack. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I also went through Sebastian's stuff to make sure I have everything, but the one thing I still needed, like I didn't buy every last thing because I knew we had some leftovers, but what I needed after going through my leftovers were scissors. I wanted to find some small ones. Sebastian still had his from last year that came in a supply kit, but this year says pointed tip and those look like blunt tips, so I just went ahead and ordered 2 pointed tip kid scissors, and they actually have a little cap which will be good for sticking in the Kirby pouch. So I ordered that, and then I also spent some time looking online for stickers because that's a big thing. We give stickers to the kids and their friends to decorate all their stuff. It's just a popular thing now. Back in my day, you covered your school books with brown paper grocery bags and colored on them, and your friends colored on them, but they don't have textbooks, so they cover all their notebooks and Chromebooks and stuff with stickers and their water bottles. And I also ordered Jax a new Kirby hoodie. So it was a lot of just boring things that weren't worth filming, sorting and lists, and yeah. I did spend a tiny bit of time starting to pull the seeds out of sunflower. It looks like half of them matured. I knew it wasn't going to be all of them because I had to cut it down a few days early because it was going to be ready to harvest while we were gone. And I didn't want the birds to get to it and leave none because I do want to try to do a second generation. But I'm happy with that. Like just from 10 minutes of pulling maybe a third of them, I have a nice size cup full of seeds. Like I can tell the empty ones are squishy and the firm ones have seeds, and I checked a few to confirm it. Anyway, I've been talking so long, but I have one more thing to say. I didn't tell you this yesterday, but I got an email on the drive home. This was around 4 p.m. on Friday from the bookkeeper at the elementary school, who normally emails saying, can anybody cover the lunch shift? Please, please, and thank you. And she sent quite the long email saying, because you were such a devoted volunteer, I thought I would put this out to you. We normally have 5 parent volunteers that come into the office every morning when school starts for, I think she said it was about 45 minutes to help out. They all have their day of the week, and this is a year-long commitment. And I have seen parent volunteers there, not always, but I guess it's because I wasn't always there in the morning in their little window when they would be there, and I always wondered why they were there and if this was something I could offer to help with, and never felt like it was the right time to ask. But yeah, I guess they had this year-long thing and they'd started it. She was saying, for example, if you had Tuesdays, you would be there every Tuesday at 7:30, and I would have duties such as bringing late lunch boxes to the classroom, walking the younger kids who are late to their classes, marking down tardies, and also sometimes kids will bring in notes saying, oh, so-and-so's not taking the bus home, they're going to be picked up, so you have to write a slip and get it to the right teacher or something. So things like that, which it's just too much for the staff that they have there, but maybe not enough to hire somebody, so that makes sense. it's the kind of stuff I would love to do. I'd love to help with that. The only problem is the timing, because normally I say goodbye to Sebastian around 7:10. He gets on the bus. I go back inside, and around 7:15 I'm waking up Jax, and then I start making his breakfast and lunch, and I drive him to school at 8:30. So I would need to be at the school at 7:30 and leave it at 8:15. So if I drove there, I could potentially come home in time to drive him to school, but if they needed extra help and I offered to stay, which I would, then I wouldn't be there to drive him. So I don't think I would tell him to rely on me that day. Whatever day that is, I would tell him to just go ahead and walk. We'd have to leave earlier, like 8:10 maybe. He's not gonna love that. I would need to make his lunch, and I'm making Sebastian's lunch, though he doesn't always pack. Sometimes he buys. And yeah, I'd have to have that ready to go, and he'd be on his own for breakfast. I could wake him up, and then I would leave. And that's not a big deal. He's an 8th grader. He's gonna be in high school next year. That would be a good transition to have a day a week where he's on his own. But I have anxiety about like driving and being late and stuff. And we live right outside the school area. And I just have visions of this one entrance into the school, the car line being insane, and me not being able to get in there and getting sucked into it and not being able to park. So I did ask about that. And I would happily walk, but the weather's not always going to be good. The major chunk of the year is freezing cold. So there's also a shopping center across the road that's going to be filled up with the car line that I could park at. It's a kind of ridiculous, like 2-minute drive, but it cuts off 10 minutes of walking. Then I would just be walking maybe 5 minutes. So that could be a potential thing to do. I think that would be allowed. I know at events, teachers and parents park there. But yeah, so I'm gonna say yes, I think, because I think that would be amazing. I still want to help out at lunches, and I said as much, and I'll still volunteer for everything else. But imagine the insight I'll get into the day-to-day life, and that's what I need. I still feel like a homeschooler. I need to get involved. I feel like I told Danny I have imposter syndrome, and I feel like a crazy homeschooler who's pretending to be a public school parent still. Even after all that volunteering for a year, I still feel like an imposter. And I told him, oh, it's time for me to start my school year hair, where I make half of it my natural color and half the other color. And he was like, you need to do you. You need to do what makes you feel like you. He was so sweet. I know he often hates some of the colors I pick, but for him to be campaigning for me to do whatever the fuck I want with my hair just made my heart swell. But this actually makes me feel good to do a half and half. I don't know why, but it's what I need right now. So I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna put dark blonde on the bottom third and one layer on top. Leave the bright pink for a couple weeks, and then I'll change just the bright pink to the new color. It will kind of be out of sync, but whatever. Anyway, I need to end this. I've been talking for so dang long. My friend's gonna be really mad about this long video chunk. Sebastian's downstairs and Danny's out, so I need to go be with him for a while. And yeah, I'm gonna see you tomorrow. I don't know what we're doing. The light is so bad in here. I have hiccups, I don't know why. I was just drinking tea, so don't know why. This is my usual favorite. It's decaf Constant Comment by Bigelow, and I am out. That was my last one. Okay, I'm gonna go. Bye bye. Thank you for listening to me babble. Let me know what you think about the volunteering. Should I do it? Stay safe, be kind, and don't forget, wash your hands.